What is up, guys? So I wanted to upload this video since a few people have been asking. I'm probably only going to upload maybe 2 more videos having to do with the post office. This being one of them. I'm taking the online assessment, and in every single one of my videos, the number one thing that I stress is the online assessment. If you take a look right here, it says exam 473E, personal characteristics and experience inventory. So understand that when you apply for a job with the post office, that initial assessment is factored into your overall 473 score. So people go and they take the exam and they think they do fairly well, but they didn't really take into account their assessment answers. The assessment counts. So please, please, please take it seriously. I think, and I've actually gotten confirmation from a few people at the post office that the assessment portion of the exam is the most important portion. They can teach you job skills. They can't teach you work ethic. And this right here, this assessment portion displays your work ethic. So I'm just going to run through some answers. And again, I think I got an 87 because of this assessment. I don't think I did. I got every answer correctly. But what I did was I answered to the extreme. So I always answered strongly agree or strongly disagree. I hardly use these middle ones here, but I will come across a few questions where you'll see me select the middle 2 options. So let's go ahead and just get started. So now again, what you always want to do is you want to look at the question and answer the question as if you were a supervisor or higher level management within the post office. When you see these questions, what would you want your employee to answer? I never ignore when somebody suggests ways I can improve myself. I never act without thinking through the consequences. I mean, and to be completely honest, this isn't true. All of us can answer sometimes because we've all done something sometime. You know, it's never that we always do one thing or always do the other. There's a lot of gray area, but when it comes to answering these assessment questions, you have to be very, very specific. It's either very often, rarely. You got to go to the extremes. You can't answer in the middle. You're more likely to show up early than late for appointments? Yeah, I wish. You are polite to others even when they're rude to you? Not really, but an employer wants me to say very often. Again, this is huge. They want you to be able to manage yourself. They can't always have somebody watching you, so they don't want you to finish a task and then just sit there and wait for the next task to be given to you. They want you to take initiative and start finding extra work yourself. This is important here. You would think, yeah, getting the job done is what's most important, but no, they're concerned about safety. Reason being, I mean, it's a liability issue for them. You just want to get the job done. You cut corners and you hurt yourself. You're out on workers' comp. They could get sued. So this one you have to be careful with. Again, what you want to do is you want to paint the picture that you're the perfect employee. Now, none of us are, but you want to paint that picture that you come very close to it. And you do have a time limit, so keep in mind. I answered it. I mean, I didn't use much of that time, but just for people that want to reread and rethink what they're answering, you do have a time limit, so just be conscious of that. See, this is kind of tricky. You do what you are told, but you do not seek out additional work. Well, you do what you're told, but you also want to seek out additional work, so you strongly disagree with that. You don't bring your personal issues to work with you. You're constantly learning, you're constantly seeking out more information to help you be a better employee. You want to be a good coworker. The golden rule. Again, this is what's separating you from the rest of the candidate pool. You want to stick out, so you want to give all these strongly worded answers. You get along with everybody. You absolutely strongly agree. Now again, if you I mean, if you don't really care about getting the job, I mean, if this is one of many applications for you, then feel free to answer in the middle. Agree, disagree, sometimes, never. I mean, you could answer how you want, but if you want to get a high score and you need this job, then you need to answer to the extreme. And again, I'm really rushing through this right now because I just want to complete it for you, just to show you, what my answers were. But I may misread something and answer incorrectly, so just take a little bit more time if this is your actual exam. I just created a dummy account so I could take this. This part is the easy part. Coming up in the next section, it does get a little tricky, and I did have some questions on some answers, so I'll point those out when I get to them. So again, they want the perfect employee. They want you to be cool under pressure. They want you to be organized. They want you to be patient. So even though all of us sometimes we don't always do those things, you want to answer as if you always do those things. these past two questions, they want an employee that's going to be cool under pressure, because a lot of it is going to be face to face with customers, so they don't want you to lose your cool. So that's the last one of part one. Hit finish up here. I'm good. Now I believe it was this part two that I had some, I questioned myself with. When you become very angry or upset, how long does it usually take for you to calm down enough to work? Is this true? Does not apply because you never become very angry or upset. We all become angry or upset at one point or another, but you're going to mark it anyways. Altogether, how much time have you spent working at an operation that runs 24 hours per day? They want somebody that's used to that demand, so you're going to answer that you have for more than 3 years, whether you have or not. You've done all of the above. None would be difficult. Too many times to count. So yeah, this is one where I kind of had I wasn't really sure which to pick. When something is wrong with your work, what is usually to blame? Supervisors, obviously you don't want to pick that. Tools or equipment, coworkers, not enough time to do the work, things you could have done differently, something else is usually to blame, or not sure. I mean, I think this would be a pretty decent answer. I mean, because sometimes we do make mistakes, and being able to recognize, I could have done this differently and accomplished the task the way I wanted to. So I would go ahead and answer with that. But again, not every single one of these answers is going to be correct, and you don't need to be perfect here. But for at least 90% of the answers, you want to get them right and go give the answer that they want to hear. See, now stuff like this is kind of you can really answer on your own. In seeking a new position, which one of the following goals is most important to you at this time? A, increase your earnings. B, improve your status at work. C, live in a better place. D, less stress. E, have better work hours, more interesting work, some other goals. See, I think you can pretty much answer that yourself, but I'm just going to go with, I'm going to keep my eyes focused on my work at hand and wanting to climb the ladder of success. How have you reacted to stressful situations in the past? I've done my best in these types of situations. I've been unaffected by it. What has been your major reason for wanting to change jobs in the past? I'm going to go with make better use of my abilities. See, now some of these are just, it really comes down to your opinion. Which would be the hardest for you if it was part of your job? A, not knowing exactly what to do. B, not being able to do as you please. C, having to do the same thing over and over again. D, having to justify everything you do. All of these would be hard. None of these would be hard. This one was easy because this one gives you the none. None of these would be hard. At the very top. How often do you try to set goals for yourself that are almost impossible to achieve? I always set high expectations for myself. I would enjoy doing it. I'm going to say I take initiative because that's what they want to. That's what they want to see. They want to see an employee that it's going to go out and start getting things done before they're asked to do it. This is one of the ones that I believe was kind of a whatever question. Which of the following is the most important in a job at this point in your life? The kind of work you actually do, how much money you make, job security, what people think of someone doing the job, how you can use your job to eventually get a better one, and none of these. Now, me personally, I like job security as an answer, or how you can use a job to eventually get a better one. Now, I look at how you can use your job to eventually get a better one as a, hey, I'm starting off as a low level, mail carrier, but I eventually want to be a supervisor. And then job security, when you answer job security, they see that you're in it for the long haul. You know, you want a place that you can see yourself retiring at. So either one of these answers would be which I would give. I'm just going to go with this one for now. How well did you get along with your teachers? Perfectly well. Not true. My teachers and supervisors often come to me for special project. I'm more dependable. Right, Dwight Schrute. What role do you believe hourly employees should play in making management? Now this one is very important. What role do you believe hourly employees should play in making management decisions? Should not be involved, should be kept informed, should have a chance to give opinions, should have some voice in management decisions, should be equal partners, not sure. I like to go with should have a chance to give opinions. Now they're not management, so I don't believe that they should have any real sort of vote. But what you want is you want your employers want to see that you want to be involved. They want you taking initiative to, you know, have your voice heard. Now this is this one is another one of those where you could pretty much answer however you want. Which of the following activities would you prefer for your daily work life? Handling important facts and information, constantly learning about new equipment, having constant contact with customers, interacting for long periods with other coworkers, doing heavy physical labor, or none of these. I always put the having constant contact with customers just because of the job you're applying for. You want to answer accordingly. So if I'm going to be a sales rep, then I want to have constant contact with customers. If I'm going to be working in the back sorting mail, then you know what, I may not answer that way. And they just tell you what kind of employee you are. Some people just like to be like to have, you know, free rule. Just, you know, tell me what to do and I'll get it done. Don't watch over my shoulder. Let's see here. This isn't bad here. Get clear directions with ongoing feedback at key points. Come in, tell me what I need to do. Then, I mean, you can check on me throughout the day, but I don't need somebody down my back. I don't need to be micromanaged. And again, this goes with the job that you're applying for. There's different jobs that require different forms of supervision. What would bother you least? None of these would bother me. Compared to others, how quickly do you learn your procedures? Faster than anyone I know. Much more. Excellent. Never. You always want to get along with your supervisors. What kind of goal do you prefer? I like a goal to achieve as one member of a team. Again, another one that you answer according to the job you're applying for. Based on your prior work experience, which of these would bother you most? Vague reasons for company policies, low pay, lack of cooperation between employees, poor planning of the work, uncomfortable working conditions, lack of recognition. All of these would bother me. Does not apply because you have no prior work experience. Not sure. Vague reasons for company policies, lack of cooperation between employees. That's pretty good. And poor planning. I'm just going to go with this one. Poor planning would probably be my second choice. When working as part of a team, which role is best for you? I like to be the overachiever. Deal with it directly. Complain to supervisor. Try to get help from friends. I would just deal with it directly. There's no Which one of the following best describes your experience with supervision in previous jobs? You want to be a leader. I would prefer such a job. 3 or more weeks. 2 weeks would have been fine, but 3 or more weeks, you just give them a little bit more. Much more often. What do you feel is the greatest motivating force in your life at this time? Helping others in important ways is for me. How willing are you to take risks to get what you want? See, now this, I mean, you could answer however you want. They want somebody that wants to achieve their goals, but at the same time, you want to manage risk. They don't want you, again, cutting corners just to accomplish a goal. How comfortable are you in introducing people to one another? Completely comfortable. See, now this is a question. It's whatever question. Answer according to what you're applying for. Never. They want you to be able to multitask. How well do you work with people to set common goals? Much better. In what school activities you do this? Let's just say group projects. Compared to others, how fast you can faster than anyone I know. What do you usually do when people you work with are upset by personal problems? Micromanagement, which would be the toughest? None of these would be difficult for me. I love micromanagement. I mean, yeah, so this is, I mean, if you've only worked 2 years, you probably shouldn't answer more than 10 years, but there you go. I mean, you pretty much get what I'm going with. When the questions are how often, you want to answer as much as possible. Now there are some vague questions that you really can answer however you want. Again, just answer according to the job that you're applying for. All right, guys. So now, again, I didn't really study much for the actual proctored exam. I did, I think, 1 or 2 online practice exams, and I failed those miserably. The memory part, I failed miserably. And then when I went to actually go take the proctored exam, when I left the testing room, when I was walking in my car, I knew for sure that I failed. Then about 5 minutes later, I checked my email and it told me I got an 87. And I thought that my score was confused or mixed up with somebody else's, because there's no way in hell that I scored an 87 on that proctored exam. Then I did a little bit more research and I paid attention to a piece of email that I got, and I realized that the assessment is what saved me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's the assessment that saved me, because I answered to the extreme, to what they wanted to hear. That is what gave me an 87. I honestly think if the 2 portions of the exam were graded separately, I would have got an A on the assessment and an F on the exam. But I think that the assessment is that important that it gave me an 87 overall. So again, assessment is huge, and I stress that in every single one of my videos. So if you watch this video before you take the proctored exam, before you apply for a job, please, please, please follow these instructions when it comes to taking the assessment. All right, good luck. Talk to you guys soon.